Hey guys, what's up? So in this video we will see how can you get the information about your instance variables in your class, and how can you change the information is stored in your instance variable. Okay, so what are instance variables? As we have already seen in our previous video, that instance variables are the places where your object is stores its data. Okay, so whenever you create a class at certain stages, you populate your instance variables, and then whenever you create an instance of that class, the instance will have its own copy of instance variable where it keeps its data. Okay, and and then your method uses that data, or you can directly use that data. Okay, so that is the whole sole story of your instance variable. So in the previous video we saw that we populated the instance variable in our initialize method, but that is not necessary. At any stage of your object, you can create your instance variable, or you can change the information stored in your instance variable. So it's not necessary that you create all your instance variables in your initialize method. So you can just get rid of that initialize method, and you can create instance variable in some other method. Ruby doesn't have any problem. Even in your method, if you are accessing some instance variable which doesn't exist, then it will simply return nil. There is no exception there. So Ruby is very liberal when it comes to instance variables. Okay, so now what we are going to see is I'm going to access the information is stored in name @name instance variable. How do I do that? So there are several ways to do that. We are going to have a look at two ways in this video. Okay, the first way is like, you can define a method def sorry def, and the name of the method is name, and what this method will do is actually just return the instance variable. Okay, so you defined the method name. So whenever you call this method on your object, what it will happen, this method will return the value stored in this instance variable @name. Okay, so here we create an object calling this person.new David 23 and male. David is your name, 23 is your age, and male is the gender. Okay, not your name, but this object's name, age, and gender. Okay, so now I want to access the name of this object, so I'm just going to call this method name and this method will return me the instance variable is stored here. Okay, so this is one way of accessing your instance variables. You just define some methods, and inside those methods you just return the instance variables. Okay, escape. Okay, so I'm just going to save and exit. Yeah, I'm just going to run this file. So what it will print, it should print the name of the object created. So here I have it. Okay, so let's have a look at it again. So the purpose here was, how do I get the value stored? Created a method, and that method returned me the value stored in @name instance variables. So oh, actually in Ruby, once you are an object here P, you have this object P here, and this object P, you know that there are three instance variables here, but you do not have any direct way of accessing these instance variables. They are somewhere inside that shell. Okay, so it's like a shell, and inside that you have three instance variables. And how do you access that? So there is one way of accessing them is method, which we saw here. Okay, actually to access instance variables there is only one way, methods. Okay, so you can define a method here which will give you the name of the value stored in your instance variable. Okay, but there are also some inbuilt methods which you can use to get the information of any instance variable. So what we did just now was we created a method which returned you one specific instance variable. Okay, so if there are like 10 instance variables, you are not going to write 10 methods. Okay, so you just want some generic method which will return you the value stored in any instance variable which you pass as an argument. Fortunately, Ruby gives us that method, and that method is instance variable get. Okay, instance variable get. Okay, and we pass the name of that instance variable as its argument, and that instance variable name is followed by column. It follows the column. Okay, okay, David. So if you use this method, instance variable get, then you don't have to write any method. Okay, so you use this method and you pass the name of any instance variable and you will get your value. So this is a very handy method whenever you are interested into getting the value stored in your instance variable. So these are the two ways we saw how to get the information stored in your instance variable. Okay, so that was all for this video, and in the next video we will see the other way, the better way of getting the information stored in your instance variable using the accessor methods. Okay, so that was all for this video. I'll see you guys in my next video.